Welcome to Full Moon Rising Yoga. My name is Karen. We have moved into the third class of the Yoga Basics three-class series. I'm so excited. I do hope that you enjoyed the first and second class, and please feel free to do this class as much as you like. And so let's go ahead. We are back in our seated position. And let's go ahead and just take a moment to connect with your breath, connect with your mat. This is your space, your time for yourself. So go ahead and just bring yourself into the present. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Do that 2 more times. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And remember, with the poses moving through this practice today, we want to work on holding our attention within our body. Again, whether it's with that breath or whether it's with each pose and the muscles and the movements. Let's go ahead and take our chin to our chest and back to center. Look over your right shoulder, back to center, looking left over your left shoulder and back to center. Lower your chin to your chest, nice straight spine, and back to center. Lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. And if you like, you can take your right arm and just nice and lightly, if you want to place it on your head, and just gently assist your neck a little bit closer to your right shoulder. Feel free to try that. And back to center. Chin to chest. Back to center. Left ear towards left shoulder. And using your left hand, slowly placing it on the top of your head, a little bit towards, almost if you're reaching towards your right ear, and just gently assist to get a little bit deeper stretch on the right side of your neck. And back to center. Let's go ahead and take our shoulders in nice, big, round circles. Take your right arm, bend your elbow, and just circle that elbow on the right. Circle it towards the back. And then let's go ahead and circle it towards the front. Nice round circles. And now on the other side, let's go ahead and just round that left shoulder a little bit, warm that up. Bend the arm so your elbow's facing out. Take some circles towards the back. And then reverse direction. And bring your hands back to your knees. On your next inhale, raise both arms up overhead. Lower your right arm towards the mat. And let's see if once we place our hand towards the mat, if you can lower your elbow onto either a block, so you're resting a little bit more, keeping your seat on the mat. Raise that left hand up, and then just bring it over as far as it's comfortable for you on that left stretch. And then go ahead with your right hand, push into the mat, bring yourself back towards center, raise your arms up overhead. Now lower your left hand towards the mat. You can either continue to have your fingertips on the mat, bend that elbow onto a block, or place that elbow onto the mat. Stretch that left arm up overhead. Next inhale, push with your left hand, assisting yourself back to center, both arms overhead, and exhaling, arms by your side. And let's go ahead, raise both arms up overhead. And now we're just going to do a twist to the right, lowering both arms down towards the right, looking over your right shoulder, keeping your hips centered and your seat on the mat. Next inhale, bring both arms up overhead, and then switch sides. Lower them down, looking over your left shoulder, keeping your seat on the mat. A couple breaths here. Lift both arms overhead on your next inhale. Exhale, both arms to your side. Let's go ahead to your seated position towards the back of the middle, towards the back of your mat. Let's go ahead and straighten our legs out, flex our feet. We want to have our hips nice and square and our spine nice and straight. Imagine a string just going right from the center through the crown, the center of your head, down through your spine, into your mat, keeping yourself in a nice straight sitting position. Sweep both arms up overhead, and this is staff pose. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling, flex your feet. On your next exhale, go ahead and hinge at your hips, reaching towards your knees or your shins, your toes, and we're going to go into what's comfortable for you for a forward fold. You can bend your knees. Once you reach your toes, you can go ahead and put your fingers into like a peace sign, and you can put them around your big toe, and eventually your elbows would be on the mat. And myself, I need to work towards that as well. And slowly rise, walk your hands up your legs, and go ahead and just shake your legs out. And let's meet in table. So let's go ahead and move into our table. And let's do 5 cat cow. Inhaling, gazing up in cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now go ahead and move through at your own pace. And we'll go ahead and meet in table. Go ahead and walk your hands out and bring yourself slowly to laying on your stomach on the mat. So we're laying on the mat. We have both of our hands just a little bit in front of our shoulders. Our elbows are tucked towards our side. Our legs are together. Our top of our feet are on the floor. We are engaging our legs, our glutes, and go ahead and just slightly push into the mat with your hands and raise your gaze and your chest up off the mat and lower back towards the mat. And when you're lowering, you can put your forehead on the mat. Let's go ahead and push up a little more and slowly lower your forehead to the mat. And let's go ahead and push up one more time if you like. You can come up where your elbows are straight, your heart is open, your legs are engaged, you're gazing up, and then slowly lower. Nice controlled movements. Very good. Go ahead and push your hands into the mat and come back into child's pose. With child's pose 2, your arms can be out straight or they can be back behind you towards your sides as well. Whichever is more comfortable for you. You can separate your knees a little bit if that's more comfortable too. And let's slowly come out of child's pose. Let's go back into table. Tuck your toes under and then just lean back, put your weight back towards placing your glutes towards your heels, and you're going to stretch your toes. Your hands are pushing into the mat a little bit to help with that stretch. And let's slowly make our way into our first downward dog for the day. So raise your knees up off the mat, nice and slow. Your feet, are hip width apart on the mat. And what's nice is you can push forward with your feet naturally. You'll feel your hands pushing forward, your feet pushing back, almost as if you're trying to tear your mat. Go ahead and pedal your heels, placing one heel towards the mat, bending the opposite knee, and pedal your knees out. Very good. Let's go ahead and slowly walk yourselves to the front of your mat. And whenever you're ready to come up, just slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Reset yourself, shoulders back, and let's go into mountain pose at the front of your mat. We're in mountain pose. Scan from your toes to your crown, or the crown down to your toes. I will face you for this. Go ahead and bring both arms up overhead on your inhale. You can put your palms together if you like. Work towards your elbows next to your ears. Exhale, slowly bend towards your right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center and just a little back bend. Back to center. Bring in your hands back to your side. Back to mountain pose. Let's do that again. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, arms towards the right. Inhale, back to center. Left side. Nice side bend. Back to center. And a little back bend. And back to center. Lowering both arms to your side. Okay, let's go into Warrior One. We're on the back of the mat. We're going to step forward with our right foot. Place that left foot heel down. Hips are centered. Nice bent knee. Put our arms, slowly bring them up overhead. After a couple breaths, let's move into Warrior Two on a nice, just kind of shifting your arms down, shifting that back foot just a little bit. The front foot can stay right in place, gazing over your right middle finger. And then bringing your left arm and just hinging your back foot a little bit, and your hips now facing front again, back to Warrior One. Lower both hands to your side, stepping to the front of your mat. Very good. Let's do the other side. I'll face this way. You can stay right where you are on your mat. I'm just shifting for the video. So we're starting in mountain pose. We're stepping forward with our left foot. Back foot's at a 45-degree angle, knees over ankle, hips are squared. Bringing both arms up to the side overhead, working towards our elbow, towards our ears. Stretch your hands to the ceiling. And then let's slowly move into Warrior Two. Shifting that back foot, arms are down. Make sure your shoulders are back. Relax your jaw. And now move your arms and your back foot. Let's synchronize that movement and move back into Warrior One. Lower both hands to your side and step to the front of your mat. Very good. So let's go ahead and come to the center of your mat. Let's bring our legs a little bit more than hip width apart. And let's go ahead and we're going to bring our arms up to star. And then bending our knees. And our arms will come down and goddess here. Bring your shoulder blades together or work, focus on that. And then your arms will come back a little bit. Now pushing up, reaching as high as you can, stretch, and then slowly back, bending your knees and your elbows at the same time. And then pushing up. And then one more time. And then pushing up. Bring both arms but down by your side. Bend your knees just a little bit, placing your palms of your hands just above your knee. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our right shoulder and just lean it towards our left knee. And we're going to look over our left shoulder, keeping both feet in place and our hips squared. Come back to center. Let's do the same on the opposite side. Gazing over our right shoulder. Back to center. Let's do that one more time. Over the right, left shoulder, right shoulder towards the left knee. Back to center, and one more time on the opposite side. And back to center, slowly straightening both legs. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves, slowly just take your hands, bringing them down your legs. Knees are just a little bit bent. And bring your hands to the mat, and then bring yourself back over to table. So we're going to meet back in table, and we're just going to take just a couple seconds here, get ourselves situated so we're in a nice stable table posture. We're going to go ahead, we're going to raise the right hand up off the mat, and then your left foot, straightening that knee. And then we'll work towards bringing both up into a straight line, keeping our gaze at the mat and our balance in table. And then go ahead and lower both at the same time. Take a moment, reset, get our balance back into table, and we'll do the opposite side. Once we feel our knees, our hands, tops of our feet nice and stable, go ahead and bring the left hand off the mat, straighten the right leg, flex the foot, and then slowly work towards bringing them up in a straight line, gazing down at your right hand. And then slowly lower. Let's do that one more time on each side. Go ahead, inhale into your nice balanced straight arms, straight legs. Take a couple breaths. Exhale, bring both to the mat. Take a breath here to stabilize. Next inhale, left arm, right leg, bring them up and straighten. Take a breath. Next exhale, lower back to the mat. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves back into a restorative rest child's pose. Coming up out of child's pose, let's bring ourselves to a seated position in the middle of our mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to straighten the left leg with the right knee bent. If it's comfortable, you can always have a block under your knee. And we're just going to just take that left arm and we're just going to reach towards our knee, our shin, reach to where you can meet your edge. Once you get to your toe, you can do the peace sign, and that can help you there. Eventually, we'll work towards bringing your chest just a little bit lower on each, as we progress through classes. And anytime when you're ready to go just a little bit deeper in the pose, do it on an exhale. So on our next exhale, just with your hips, just go a little bit further into that stretch. And then slowly come back to center. And let's try that on the other side. We're going to straighten our right leg. You can use blocks, they're great. Left knee is bent, sitting nice and centered. Our seat is on the mat. We're just going to take our right arm and we're just going to reach towards whether it's our knee, our shin. Meet yourself where you are. If you're towards your toes, your peace sign can go around your big toe. And on your next exhale just a little bit deeper. And slowly come back up. Very good. Let's bring ourselves into kneeling. And if you like, you can take one of your blocks, or you could take a pillow, you could take a meditation mat. And if you like, you can go ahead and just put it behind you for sitting, which helps relieve a little bit of pressure in the knees. Okay, so even though we're sitting on our blocks, we still want to have our hips squared. And again, imagine that string going through the center of our crown, all the way down our spine, keeping our posture nice and straight. So let's go ahead and put our right arm out, palm facing the ceiling. And let's go ahead and raise that arm up. Bend the elbow as if you're going to pat yourself on the back. Take your left hand, palm facing the floor, rotate that arm back so the back of your hand is on your lower back, but eventually working towards, over time, your hands and your fingers touching. But let's go ahead and just to keep that nice integrity of this pose, just that hand on the lower back, opening the heart without putting a lot of bending or arching in the spine. Couple breaths here. Slowly straighten your right arm and then coming out of that posture. Let's go ahead and try that on the left side. Take the left hand, put it out with the palm facing the ceiling, raise it up overhead, lowering your hand as if you're patting yourself on the back, and then taking your right hand palms down and then bringing it behind your back. And this is great for if you want to self-assist, is you can take your right arm to help bring that left arm, if you like, a little bit deeper into the pose. Straighten your left arm and then go ahead and come out of the pose. So just remember whenever we're going through these that you want to meet yourself where you are. If your elbow is here, that's great. We don't want you to hurt yourself. So you want to move through each pose in any class that you do and only go as far as you can without hurting yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the blocks under our seat or our pillows. And let's go ahead and we're going to sit on the center of the mat. Now we're going to get ready to go down on our backs. Knees are bent. Let's put our arms out towards the side, engaging your abs. I always just like to say, pull that belly button towards the spine, tighten it, and slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. And then go ahead and place your hands on your mat, straighten your legs. Let's go ahead, bring that right knee towards your chest, flexing both feet, keeping your lower back on the mat. And slowly release. Bring your left knee towards your chest, both feet flexed, lower back on the mat. And release. With your palms lightly on the floor by your side, bring your right knee up to 90 degrees and then your left leg up with your knees bent 90 degrees, both of your feet flexed. Go ahead and bring your arms on the floor. Just bring them up so they're out as both to the side. They're both straight. Slowly lower your knees, keeping them bent in this position over towards your right side. Keeping your gaze at the ceiling or eventually working towards looking over your left shoulder. And then to come out of the pose, slowly bring just your left knee up to get your lower back centered, and then bring your right knee to meet it. And let's go ahead and do that on the other side, slowly dropping your knees. Maybe you only drop the left one first, and then slowly the right one. And you can also use your blocks here as well. Gazing at the ceiling and then working towards gazing over your right hand. Go ahead to come out of the pose. Bring your head back, looking at the ceiling. Shoulders are on the mat. Just bring that right knee up nice and slow until that left knee is ready to come up as well. Lower both feet to the mat. Your knees are still bent and your feet are on the mat. Go ahead and take your hands and just bring them right to the sides of where your hips are. And push your feet into the mat, and then you're going to push your hips towards the ceiling, and you're going to feel your shoulders press into the mat, engage your abs. Anytime we're really working with our back, I always like to engage my abs. It helps protect the muscles. And then slowly lower, keeping those knees together. Let's try that one more time. Legs are together, feet are in the mat, palms are on the floor, and then pushing your hips towards the ceiling, keeping your shoulder blades nice and even on the mat, and then pushing up. And then slowly lower, keeping your knees together. Let's go ahead and bring both knees into the chest. Rock side to side, a little bit to the left and the right. And circle your ankles. And then go ahead and prepare yourself for Shavasana. So with Shavasana, we're laying in corpse pose on our mat. Our palms are facing up. Our feet are just nice and relaxed and open. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And then bring yourself back to your normal breathing rhythm. So through Shavasana, we still want to remain in the moment here in our yoga practice. So see if you can just continue to focus on your stomach. And when you're breathing, just focus on your stomach, just that little bit of your belly rising and your belly lowering. And just follow that pattern through our Shavasana pose. Slowly bring movement back to your toes, your fingers. And when you're ready, roll over to one side. Still focusing on the rhythm of your stomach. Each breath, your belly rising and lowering. Placing your palm on the mat, push yourself up into our seated position, easy pose. We'll meet back in easy pose. Take your time. Go ahead and bring both arms up, inhaling overhead, palms together, exhaling, hands to heart center. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for joining the 3-class series of Yoga Basics. And please let us know if there's any other classes or any other series that you're interested in, and one of our instructors will be happy to do that for you. And please be sure to visit the channel, Full Moon Rising Yoga. We do have a playlist with a variety of different classes, and we have a variety of different instructors as well. So find what works for you. Have a great day.